One of the things that I want to share with you at this time is the fact that speaking has created a whole new life for me. After serving over 22 years rather in the United States Air Force, I retired, and the first thing I did was become an entrepreneur, specifically speaking, becoming a professional speaker. I had been in Toastmasters for about 5 years, and I kind of got my chops through that in terms of learning how to speak in front of an audience, and different strategies and techniques to become a speaker. But in the end, what it really came down to was the fact that I have a passion for it. So, what I'm going to do today is share with you, as a part of Wealth Academy podcast, this particular episode is to share with you the avenue in which, in the journey of which I traveled to get to where I am today. And when it came down to making the decision to become a speaker, I had not had a coach at the time, but I let everyone that I knew that I was a speaker. Purchased some business cards, I passed them out, and whoever I encountered, I gave them a business card and told them I was a speaker. And fast forward a few years later, I had worked with this young lady, and she told me that her organization was looking for a speaker. And the way she found out that I was a speaker is because I told everyone, if you moved, I told you, whether you accepted to bring me in as a speaker or not. And then before that, I had spoken at all of the K through 12 schools in my hometown in Henderson, North Carolina. And so again, I was building up authority, building up credibility with my speaking skills. And for an entrepreneur, speaking should be one of your top priorities, to get in front of an audience and share what you provide, what solutions you provide for your clients, because all clients may have a problem they needed solving, and you can bring a speaker in to deliver a speech. It could be some training, it could be virtual or in person. So, what I'm sharing right now is the fact that I know I chose the right field to be in. Now, my very first speaker coach was a lady by the name of the late, great Dottie Walters. And Dottie and her daughter Lily wrote the book Speak and Grow Rich. And she coached me from the very beginning. And I requested that she coach me. And she had a marketing symposium in Burbank, California. So I flew from Washington, D.C. to Burbank, and I attended her 2-day seminar. I sit beside Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk, in that particular weekend session. And when I came out of that session, I actually wrote my first book. And my first book was titled Living on Higher Ground. So it was one of the first assets that I put together as a part of my speaking assets, that I can provide a resource to clients and customers who want more of me through the book. Because typically, when I was delivering a presentation or a speech, people ask, "Do you have a book?" So the universe was really speaking to me, and it led to me becoming a keynote speaker for a 12 city speaking tour. And I went with a nonprofit organization, and they brought me in. And that friend that I told you I used to work with, we had lunch together with the person who was coordinating for bringing a speaker on for them. And that's exactly what I did. It took me all the way from Pennsylvania to Utah to Montana, also to Texas and North Carolina, Ohio, and also in Hawaii and Guam and some other states as well, and Florida, to include Florida and Georgia. So I was again building up my credibility as a speaker. And oftentimes you make mistakes as a speaker, but no one in the audience is going to know unless you said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake." You never say that. What you do is keep pressing on and getting back into alignment with the foundation of whatever your particular speech or talk or training happens to be. Just keep going. And so let me bring you in fast forward. And I've spoken at some Fortune 500 companies such as MasterCard International, the Office of Personnel Management, the Federal Employed Women's Organization, the United States Air Force, the United States Air Force Academy, and then the IAPA, which is Industrial Accident Prevention Association in Toronto, Canada, and all parts in between. And today I speak a lot virtually. So I spoke at in Paris a couple of times last year, but before that I spoke in Kenya, Ukraine, and then India earlier this year with the Leadership Summit, the Master X Leadership Summit, which I was a part of, which was a great platform. And then one of my favorite locales to speak at was in Las Vegas. And I spoke out there and I led a panel discussion at Caesar's Palace, which is always one of my favorite casinos. Now, granted, I don't gamble, but I love the facility itself, and the city of Las Vegas is just a fun place to be. And so let's fast forward to now. I brought on a new speaking coach, a Dr. Cheryl Wood, and she's based here in the state of Maryland, where I reside, and I'm a part of her Stage Ready cohort, and I'm honored to do it. And I was just talking to her yesterday, and I said, well, I just want you to know that when you were reviewing my speech as we get ready for this keynote address that's coming up, that it just blew my socks off, because she is just such an expert, a professional, and she really knows how to get speakers into that space where they can deliver a powerful, impactful presentation and speech, keynote address. And I tell you, without her, I would not be able to do what I do today. But let me share just a few things with you. She also leads a Voice of Change magazine, and she invited me and others to come to that event and speak. And oftentimes, you're not going to get a lot of people that bring you in to speak to their audience, but they brought me in, and I talked about what my mission was all about. And of course, my mission is all about self leadership, for people to take more responsibility for themselves, because better leaders make better communities, and better communities make better states and countries. And so that's one of my missions. But I spoke at that event, and when you go in there, you don't know anyone, but by the time you leave, you know everyone. And so I had a great time, and that was one of the recent events that I did, in fact, speak at. And then another thing happened. I was also considered one of, through her organization, the Voice of Change organization, one of the top 40 speakers that are shaping the future. And so here I am. I'm on the next to the last row at the bottom to the far right. So that's me there. And it is such an honor. And these are some tremendous speakers. And they're from all over the United States. And some people that you will be seeing on a stage near you. And one of the things, as I mentioned before, is that I'm considered through the Voice of Change magazine one of the top 40 speakers that are shaping the future in 2025. They say. I also want you to look at this particular picture here, and the cover for the month of the summer program is none other than the legend himself, Les Brown. I met Les Brown for the first time in 1987 at a conference in Kansas City, Missouri. And ever since then, I followed him and other tremendous speakers. But I happen to be a part of this magazine, and so I'm featured in this magazine with Les Brown on the cover. And this is the 1-year anniversary of the Voice of Change magazine, and I'm going to share the article with you about me in there. And of course, I'm in that leadership space. I'm known as the Leadership Catalyst. And in this magazine, I talk about my background, what my mission is. And the moment I knew that speaking was my calling, and I'll go right back to what I said earlier. When I signed up for the 12-city speaking tour, then I knew that it was my calling. And ever since then, I've been speaking in different places, such as the City University of New York, CUNY there in New York, and with a lot of just amazing organizations, such as the Environmental Protection Agency, to the American Society of Training and Development, and many, many more organizations over the years. So it has me traveling quite a bit, but I love that too by virtue of being in the United States Air Force. But when it gets down to it, what's coming up, and I'll provide that on another uh, episode, I'll be talking about the upcoming speaker showcase that takes place on July 18th in Silver Spring, Maryland. And I'll be providing a keynote address that talks to my passion. And again, it's leadership. And even though I was in the Air Force, I had expertise in both financial management and certified in that field. And in addition to legislative studies, where I worked for a member of Congress for a year, leadership was, is, and always will be the space that I operate in. And I want to share that with more and more people through my keynote address. And my keynote address title is Lead Yourself First. And I'll share it on a follow-up episode so that you can learn more about my mission. And then, of course, I stated before about the particular event that's coming up on July 18th in the speaker showcase that's coming up. I'm one of 10 people who will be going for an audience, live audience, and delivering a high impact presentations. So I thank you for your time, and my time is up, and I thank you for yours. This is episode number 295 for Wealth Academy Podcast. Get out there, rate and review this episode at Apple Podcasts, also at iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on the next episode of Wealth Academy Podcast. Again, my name is Paul Lawrence Vann. I'm the founder and the host of this amazing podcast platform. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you so much for your support.